All right, welcome back to Taking a New Approach podcast. I am so happy for you folks that are listening right now, you beautiful souls. I just want to thank you for giving me your time and attention like I always do, because I truly appreciate it. I truly am honored to be able to even have people listen to me at all. And I just want to be grateful and appreciative of you folks listening. And I have set the intent that every time I do one of these shows that you are able to pull something from it. If you only pull one thing from it and that's it, send the rest back to the universe and keep that one thing to help you along your journey. For those of you new, clicking on and never have heard one of these podcast episodes, this is Taking a New Approach. Basically, my goal is to help people get to their mastering themselves in order to manifest their dreams and goals. So sometimes I talk about techniques and stuff, but mostly it's about really the spiritual inner self and becoming your higher self and adding to the world's consciousness, the collective consciousness, and bringing that peace, joy, and happiness. And in return, all of your desires are fulfilled, because you are so focused on serving rather than just getting, okay? So this episode, I don't know how long it's going to be, kind of just vibing off of watching something recently. And I think that I'm really going to talk about the ego. So, and I don't know if you're new or you're kind of intermediate or advanced, and I know people could be listening to this all over the world. So I'm going to try to, be pretty general, but I'm just going to talk about how the ego can affect your desires, and it can also be stopping you from manifesting those goals and dreams that you have, that you are trying to attain. And you don't have to try, they're already yours. You're just allowing them in. And basically, how do you handle the ego? Like, what is the ego? Like why? Like, what are these thoughts that we're having? How do I know if it's from the ego versus my higher self, right? And so today, I was watching Dan Radio Style. He's on YouTube. He's very small. They have about probably like 3,000 followers right now, subscribers. But he's super into spirituality, and he has a lot of great information. I think you guys should definitely, if you're on SoundCloud, go over to YouTube and subscribe and watch his videos. If you're on YouTube, subscribe after this or whatever you want to do. But anyway, he was talking about visions versus manifestations. And that's it's not about this, but he just talked about the ego. And just, like I always say, something always just resonates with me. And then I want to go and start talking about it, because it was just like, yeah, I should talk about that. Because like I have in this journey start to pick up so much stuff. And I'm just believing in myself and understanding that I'm pretty far advanced than I thought I was. The more and more I started to look at other people and what they talk about, I realized that I have something to offer. So I'm going to offer my opinions on the ego, because you might have heard this, but just because the way I put it, it might just resonate better with you, right? I was listening to Guided Intuition, another great one you could go listen to on YouTube. And she was saying how she worked with clients, and someone was like, well, there's a lot of people on YouTube with, who do tarot and all this stuff. And she said, so what? Like, there's many people on there. But just because there's many people, it doesn't stop you from doing you. Because you never know when you are the one that they're just going to get it that time. Like, your energy is just right for that person. So that's why I'm doing this, okay? So the ego, like, basically the ego is there, I would say, kind of to help us, right? Kind of to stop us. Sometimes saying, hey, that's not a good idea. It's not always a bad thing, right? However, when it comes to us really starting to elevate and really what taking a new approach is, we do have to let the ego die. Okay? Like we have to. Like we can no longer depend on the ego in our lives if we want to see true happiness, true peace, inner peace. And I'm talking about inner. If you want inner happiness, inner peace, inner worthiness, you can no longer depend on your ego. And the ego, very simple to notice it. It's anything that's going to tell you not to do something that is positive for yourself. Like if you want to go and do that and it's saying, no, well, you're not tall enough, you're not fast enough, you're not smart enough. That's when you know that it's your ego, because the universe is always for you. The universe, if you desire it, the universe says yes to it, flat out. Doesn't matter. It's always saying yes to you. It's like your genie in a bottle. But instead of getting 3 wishes, you get unlimited. So you always have endless amount of wishes. And the universe is always supplying it. Now some of you might had it, just thinking of me just saying that, say, oh, that's not true. That's the ego, right? Like, why wouldn't you deserve unlimited wishes? Like, why wouldn't you deserve to have all good happen to you all the time? Right? Like that's what I'm saying in terms of your ego. Your ego is there. It doesn't want to die. It's always going to fight and say, you're wrong. No, this is right. It really doesn't matter. It's kind of, that's kind of the thing. It really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it is what it is. The situation happened. Okay, now I'm going to move forward in love. I'm going to move forward in compassion and worthiness and appreciation and happiness. So when we're talking about the ego and how to distinguish it between your higher self and it being the ego, you know the difference, because all you have to do is say, is this feeding my soul? Is this something that is positive? Because if it's something saying no to you, then more than likely it's your ego. Now, of course, if it's like you're trying to jump off a bridge, of course, let's get real. Like, probably your higher self saying, no, don't do that. But if it's something as simple as we live our everyday life and things of that nature, and the struggles that a lot of us tend to go through because we've been conditioned and all this other stuff, when you are trying to go after goals that whether that's starting a business, whether that is just figuring out how to handle relationships between people in our lives, whether that's at work, whether that's, with your family or your significant other or special partner, whatever, spiritual partner, whatever you want to call it. The higher self always says yes. The higher self always goes with love. It always goes with appreciation. It always goes with gratitude. It's not a moment that the higher self is ever not in that type of vibration. So when you think about ego, the ego is I, separated, separate from the world, separate from the collective consciousness. Like, we're all connected. Like, you're just as connected to that tree as to that ladybug, as to that homeless person on the street. We're all connected. It's all the same thing. It all came from this God force or whatever you want, whatever you serve out there. That force. we're all the same thing. So when you hurt, we all hurt. When I hurt, you hurt. We have a collective consciousness. That's where you hear sometimes how you can pull in, like you might hear some people talking about calling on your ancestors or calling on this type of energy because it's still there. Like you never die. You never die. It's just we're energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. It only could be transferred. These are facts. You could go look up scientific, quantum physics, all that good stuff. People have done many of studies on this. All right. So, and we are learning now that we're energy. So this whole idea, so when you're energy, you're just being transferred to a different dimension, essentially. And sometimes people still get trapped here. And that goes into a whole nother episode where you could go real deep into it, but we're not going to go that far into it. But you really can. So the whole idea is that when the ego happens, it always tries to see self as being separate from everything else. It always tries to destroy rather than build. And so for you, when you are thinking about your ego or you're having a rough time or you're trying to come up with a decision and you don't know, it's not a lot of clarity. It's not that clear for you. And you're trying to figure out, okay, well, was that my ego or was that my higher self? Ask yourself, did it come in a positive sense? Is it taking on the energy of love, happiness, of building, of being abundant? Or is it saying you have lack? You're not worthy. Because remember, you're worthy of everything. You are deserving. I'm always going to tell you guys that. I love y'all. So it doesn't matter. Like if it's 5, 10 people listening, I love you and you're worthy. So never ever get to the point where you feel that the universe is against you, because it's never against you. The universe doesn't create things to destroy itself. It's balance. Now you might look out into the world today and be like, how could it be balanced? There's war, there's this, there's that. Yeah, but you bless it with love and you understand that. If you really want to understand that, I would suggest reading the book, The Seat of the Soul. It talks about karmic debts and just how we are healing ourselves and paying karmatic debts right now in the third dimension. This is where karma exists and what we call reality right now. Like you listening to me, this is reality. Like this is the third dimension. This is where karma happens. Now, when you go 4th, 5th, 6th, that doesn't exist anymore. Obstacles don't exist anymore. And if you want to get in that type of stuff, definitely people all over, written books, YouTube, you can find it. Okay, you definitely can. And it's crazy about just the different dimensions, because I just think about chemistry, like in seeing the electrons and seeing like 4s and 5s and 6s and seeing how just like the ancient people was just so advanced, man. They just really understood chemistry and just how it connected to our reality and what we are and the God force. It was like just seeing and having that experience just pop back in my head. It was just like, wow, if I had this knowledge and then took chemistry in college, I probably would have aced that sucker. But, here nor there. It is what it is. I digress. But I just really want you guys to understand the difference, because it will save you some time. Because if you are not at the point where you are loving yourself, where you are feeling worthy, that you tell yourself when you wake up in the morning and you tell yourself you love yourself, I am worthy. I accept myself. I accept all of myself. Like I did a show about affirmations, and you could go back and listen to it. But definitely you want to first get in that vibration, in that mindset, and you have to believe that everything is working out for you. I always say, when things are falling apart, that means that everything is about to come together for you in a new, beautiful way. And then sometimes you can't see the beauty in the chaos right now. But the chaos is the beauty, because that's, like I said, that's where you gain your power. Like Superman and all of them didn't really understand how powerful they were until they faced conflict, until they faced the contrast and they overcome the contrast. Right? The rainbows don't come out until after the storm. They don't come before the storm. So you have to remember that. And so with the ego would be like, oh, well, everything is terrible. Everything is bad. Like my car got repossessed and, that person doesn't like me because I don't look this way. And I can't get that job because I'm this certain color, or I'm this sex, or I'm this and that. And that's the ego talking. That's the ego talking. The ego will always tell you you are not good enough. It will always be negative. It wants to survive. But in order for you to reach your higher self, become and shine your light, which you have from source, which you came from source, to expose your talents to the world, to bring more joy and happiness, you must let your ego die. So ask yourself, have I been operating in my ego, or am I operating in my higher self? Wherever you are, it's okay. It's okay. Like, be gentle with yourself. Like I always say, like, we all are at our points in our journey. So I'm here. You might not be there quite yet. That's fine. I wasn't here 7 months ago or 5 years ago, right? And some people are even further along than me, and that's all right, and that's great. Like, every day is a chance to grow more and more, and you have to just look at it that way. You can no longer just always just wake up and just think that, oh, well, I'm not there yet. That's an affirmation. Believe you there. Speak that into your existence, that you're going to get there, that you're going to start receiving visions, that you're going to start to be in tune with your intuition, that you're going to be that the universe is just going to deliver whatever you need when you're ready to change. Like, I have an affirmation from the little love cards that I got from Louise Hay, and it says that whenever I am ready to make positive changes in my life, the universe provides me with whatever I need to do it. Believe that. Say that. Know it. I'm telling you, it is the truth. Like, all the time. All the time. I can't tell you how many times just like finding these different people on YouTube, just books, when I go to Barnes and Noble or I'm online and I see things, and it just like it clicks for me. It just boom, I find this person, I find this, I find that. And I'm not even looking for it. It just kind of pops up at the right time, at the right moment. And I'm ready to receive it. Being ready to be ready, as Abraham Hicks said. That's what you're doing. You're just being ready to be ready for the next step. It's just logical. Now I get it. Like, I'll always hear that. And you'll be like, okay, yeah, that sounds great. And yeah, I don't know, Abe. I don't know. It's not looking too good, Abe. I don't know. I'm not ready. I don't know. I'm ready, but it's not coming. But when you are just focused on just to the next level and just constantly just believing and focusing on loving yourself, focusing on trying to express the essence of gratitude, the essence of appreciation, the essence of unconditional love, when you solely are focused on serving, everything else just falls into place. So when it comes to your ego, the ego is not going to allow that. It doesn't want to allow that. It's going to fight against you. It's going to tell you that you can't quit smoking. It's going to tell you that you can't quit doing drugs. It's going to use a lot of can'ts. But you're powerful. Like I told my coworkers yesterday. One of my coworkers, God bless his soul, like, he just doesn't understand. And, I send him love. And, like, the people are about to come out of our presentation, then people talk to him, and then I got to talk to him after if they don't get a deal, And he's like, you're not going to make any money. Of course, he wasn't being serious. He was a little bit, but not in a very, malicious way. But he's like, you're not going to make any money. We're going to get all the deals. You're not going to get anything. And I told him, what's yours is yours and what's mine is mine. I work from a higher power. So I'm not worried about you little humans. They don't understand. People is just and they just oh yeah, we're not going to let you get any money. I was like, okay, does that make you happy? Does that make you, my ego would have been like, how dare you, da 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 da. My higher self was like, please, I'm not worried about that. You're talking nonsense to me right now. And that's how I flow. You could say, oh, that's kind of arrogant. No, but I understand the power that I have. And I understand that the universe is not against me, it's for me. So I understand that he is not connected to his higher self. So you would say that was the ego talking. Why wouldn't you want someone to make money? Why would you want somebody to suffer? That's the ego. When you oh, we should go and kill those people for doing this and all this other stuff, that's the ego. Eye for an eye is the ego. So you have to understand when people are trying to be against you, and how you respond tells you a lot too. Was that the ego that just came out, or was that my higher self? And I told him, I'm standing in the light. You can't take what's mine, and I can't take what's yours. So it doesn't matter. I said, okay, that's cool. Whatever. I'm not going to fight with you anymore. Now, beforehand, give me maybe 6 months ago, I would have probably cursed him out. I'm still getting over stuff. But I realized, that stuff doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't. And I'm realizing that the ego is starting to die slowly. This is not a quick type of thing. Remember, you have probably been operating in the ego for however long you've been living, until you finally started to find this type of podcast and other people out there that you're listening to. Because if you're listening to this, you're definitely a different type of soul, and you're definitely here to counterbalance all of the ego that we have out in the world right now, so that we can start to add to the collective consciousness that balance of peace, love, and joy and worthiness back, and instill it into the masses. This is why I do this. This is my payment. This is the $1 billion. This is what makes me a billionaire. Because I have infinite intelligence coming to me. I have infinite love coming to me. And if I can inspire one person who inspires another person that inspires another person, how can you not say you're not wealthy? That's true wealth. Some people will come to this planet and never inspire one person. Doesn't mean they can't, but they will never inspire one person to go out and do good and change their lives. Some people just solely have come here, worked themselves to death, and then left. That's not the life I'm trying to live. And if you're listening to this, this is definitely probably the life you're not trying to live. You're just trying to find meaning. And you have the meaning. You have the purpose in you. It's just right now, you have to trust in the process. Another great affirmation: I trust myself in the process of life. I'm truly starting to love this process. And you have to understand, you have to love it too. That's the only way this will make sense to you. This is the only way you will really start to allow your higher self to be the dominant force guiding you. That's what you have to do. You have to let it guide you. You can't really, the movers and the shakers and all that, and that's fine. I listen to those people too. But sometimes you got to realize that at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for your soul. That's why you have so much friction and conflict, is because you're not in line with your true purpose. I heard someone say, I can't remember his name, but he was saying the reason why people have money issues and all this different things is because you're not aligned with your soul. Your soul ego. That's why you see so many people, I got to get this money. I'm over hustling. I'm making this money. I'm doing that. I'm over here. And you just see like all the people that you see that are wealthy, they just constantly working and working and working and working because they truly feel like from them doing all that work, that's the result of their money rolling in. But that's not the case, because there's millions and tens of millions of people working hard that is not getting the money. Hustling is not going to do it. You don't get your money from your job. Like your abundance comes from infinite intelligence. It does. You could question it all you want. And again, that would be the ego. That would be the ego. I'm not telling you to quit your job and then say, universe, send me my money. No, please don't do that. I kind of did that myself, and it was definitely rough, but it was a great learning experience. And the universe definitely did it. Even though it was rough, the universe still had my back. That's how I know the universe is for me and not against me. Everything is happening for me, not to me. And you have to believe that. And once you start to ingrain yourself in repetition and retraining your subconscious mind, because this is a lot of times the subconscious is the thing that is just repeating what you have given it. And that's why the ego is so strong. But when you start to program it and start to make it align with your higher self, that's when you're going to start to really flourish and really start growing and really starting to see the signs. Okay? So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. It's just ego. Understanding the difference. Understanding that the ego is going to always be the negative thoughts. And until you're able to get to a place where you are loving yourself, you are seeing the worth, the deservingness, and you see that you are abundant, and you see that you have this, that you are special. We're all special. Once you get there, then you could really start to, really take care of the ego. But before that, the ego is going to be pretty strong. And what you have to do is just always remind yourself, like myself, like I always tell you, like I didn't always have the greatest self-love. And I'm starting to really love myself. I always tell myself, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. I'm worthy, I'm deserving, I'm lovable. I deserve joy, I deserve prosperity. I deserve to be happy. You deserve it too. It's true. Like, I don't care. Like I tell people all the time, like, I love you and you're worthy. I don't care if you get on my damn nerves. You're worthy. No matter how much I don't like you, you're worthy. You're still worthy. I might not want to be around you, but you're worthy still. You're still loved. It's not my job to judge you. It's my job to inspire. It's my job to master my life and be an example for others and just myself, and just have happiness for myself. And if you take that same approach, and if everybody took that same approach, how can you not have a better world? How can you not have more peaceful people and more and happier people and loving people? You can't lose with that. Love is the most dominating and powerful force in this world. So understand, when you're thinking about, am I coming from my ego or my higher self? Well, love, compassion, joy, happiness, peace, whatever you want to call it, gratitude, appreciation, all of that is higher self. The opposite, same energy, just on a different spectrum. Anger, depression, anxiety, worrying, all of that is ego. And I understand some of you might be out there in a tough situation. And you're like, well, it's this and this and this. I'm telling you, it will get better. But you have to believe it. Because my favorite thing, and then I'm gone, hopefully, is I saw this thing, and and some of you might have seen it. It's like a diagram, and it says has a problem, like have a problem, and then it's like arrows pointing to different boxes. And I really love that, because I had to tell my boss that yesterday because he was going through some stuff, and I was like, well, use this. You got a problem? Yeah. Can I fix it? Yeah. Okay, so why worry about it, right? If you could fix a problem, why worry about it? It's fixable. Might be a little uncomfortable, but if you could fix it, okay, cool. Why worry about something you could fix, right? But let's look at it on the other end. You have a problem? Yes, I have a problem. Can I fix it? No. So why worry? Like, if you can't fix the problem, why worry and stay in that same vibration to bring even more crap you don't want? And then you're going to be like, oh, well, now my life is even worse because now you're sending out to the universe even more negativity, even more worrying, and it's going to give you what you want. It's really what you focus on, vibrate out, and feel. So if you like, okay, this is not the best situation, but you know what? I know everything happens for a reason. It's here to teach me a lesson. So what is the reason? Like I talked about this, right? Like trying to understand and get that message from the universe, right? Like when I was talking about releasing habits, old habits, bad habits, kind of asking the universe, like, what is the reason for this? Same thing. Ask the universe, what is the reason for this situation? Like, what are you trying to show me? Are you trying to what skill in me needs to be created or honed to be sharper to get through this situation? Because I know you got my back. And don't be afraid to call on the universal God or Allah or whoever you serve, whatever you believe, whatever you want to call it. Don't be afraid to call on it when you need it. Sometimes we all have moments of weakness, and just say, like, just be blunt and like, I need you. I don't care. Look, I know you got my back, but I need you on this one. I need you to put it in plain, simple terms from me, because I don't, look, I know you're going to hook it up, but I need you on this one, player. I need you. Help me out. And it'll be okay. Like, it will be delivered, and you have to know that it will be delivered. You can't be like, oh, well, is it going to come right now? Or is, like, now you don't really, you're already counteracting, the whole point of asking for it. Like I said, the universe is always saying yes to you because you are deserving and you are worthy. Never forget, you are worthy. You are lovable. You are great. And we need you on this planet. There's something I might need to see your art to feel inspired. I need to see you on YouTube probably. I need to just have you be talked about in society as just something that is a great thing to have. To make me say, yes, there are wonderful people out there. I know it, but I want to hear more of it. What's wrong with hearing more of it? You might be that person. You might be that person. What if? I love playing this game called What If? What if I owned that? What if I was this great? Try it out. You know, that's a great way to, align yourself more with your higher self, giving yourself the possibility, opening up to receive and allow more of good to come in your life. What if because sometimes what if, can be a negative, because if you focus on the negatives, like, what if I would have done that? Like, no. What if I have that? What if I do that? That'd be cool. Focus on the positives. Try that out for a little bit. Whether you listen to this early or you're listening to this late, whenever you can, try this today, even in the midday. I don't know when you're listening to, but just walk around and the things that you just see, like, what if I talked to that person and I inspired them today? What if I talked to that lady over there and we was just so connected and had just a great conversation? What if I owned that store? What if I owned that nice car? What if my family came together and was happy for the whole day and we had like the best time ever? And just resonate in that feeling. It definitely works. It definitely will bring more ideas into your life, and be absurd with it too. Like, what if I own a spaceship? Have fun with it. And if that starts to piss you off, just stop. When you get on topics that start to bring anger and resistance, that's a great thing, because now it shows you where you have, where you need to work. And that's like helping you. So it's giving you a little messages to yourself, like, okay, I need to still work on that. So I'm going to move away from that, the money situation. I'm going to move away from that, or the relationship thing. I'm going to move away from that and just focus on this for a while. That's helped me a lot. Okay. So definitely try that out, but I hope this helps. Ego is something that's going to separate you from all and make you think that you're different than others, but you're not. We're all here to learn and grow on our paths and help each other. And the ego is going to try to separate you in terms of all the positive thoughts that you have and tell you can't do it, that you're not good enough, and all those different things like that. So make sure that when you have that thought, just stop, be mindful, and say, you know what? That's not true. That's not true. It's not true. No, I can do that, or I am worthy, or I am this. What if I did do that? What if I had that, right? So don't worry about the ego in terms of letting it get in your way. Just know that if it's negative, the universe is always positive to you. It always has your back. It's always going to say yes to you. Okay? So I love you guys. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe if you're on YouTube. Like, share, comment, SoundCloud. Do what you got to do. Love offerings or donations. Hit the Cash App. Coaching services. If you definitely want more help and just changing your mindset and just being able to figure out how to gain your power, or just how to start to go inner, definitely hit me up, ask me questions, or try to get more information. Any of those things, I'm definitely willing to help you. And this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to serve and just love on you guys and give my all to you. All right. So I love you. You are worthy. You are deserving. And go be great today and have a beautiful day. And I'll talk to you on the next episode. Okay? Bye.